What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to Comic Breakdown. Today we're carrying on with X-Men The Age of Revelation with Expatriate X-Men, issue number 2. To quickly recap, this is the story that picks up with Rift, Miss Marvel, Bronze, Malay, and Liebird. Our team, they went in, they did a smash and grab mission to rescue Liebird, but this wasn't out of just mere generosity. Mystique had tasked them with this mission because of Liebird's photographic memory. That means he's got tons of US military intelligence about their compounds, the blueprints, the layouts, the whole 9 yards. But Malay has been keeping a secret. She's been conspiring to sabotage the plan and keep Liebird out of Darkchild's hands. So when we pick up aboard our ship, we're picking up with Bronze. Bronze is coming in, turning on the music, bringing in a little bit of lunch and having some medicine. Because right now she's about to wake up Unk. And Unk, in this case, is none other than Colossus. In this future Revelation era, Colossus seems like he's rusting over. You know, I'm not gonna beat a dead horse about my disdain for the X-Virus and how loosely the writers are using it, but in this case we're seeing that the X-Virus affected Colossus in such a manner that one of his arms looks like it was some kind of construction bulldozer cross between trying to create some kind of robotic arm. We can assume that the rust affected his arm so much that it possibly fell off, and this is his replacement for it, but we see that it's also affecting the rest of his body. We have to assume that this is just an adverse effect from the X-Virus. But the two of them, they sit down, they chat a little bit, they talk about how they miss Kitty, but they're also pulling into station. They need to refuel the ship, and Bronze is really just asking, is there anything you need? Anything you want, like a keychain or something while we're in here before we head out again? This is really just giving a glimpse of where Colossus is at, how he's doing, and how he's really just being taken care of like a sick uncle. This is where we pick up with Adrian and Malay. Now, I think the implication here is that there was some shagging going on. It doesn't necessarily explicitly say that, but we see him go in for a kiss, and Malay's kind of like, let's not make this a thing. The important thing here is Malay is telling him that you need to stay on the ship. We may be docking and refueling, but you need to stay here. This is going to be the safest place for you. But when she gets up on deck, they're met with some hostility. They were supposed to be refueling, but it appears there's been a change in management. Usually they deal with Mad Anthony, but now Mad Anthony, he works for the Shaw Syndicate. Really, they're just trying to strong-arm Malay and the others. They're trying to get more money and give them less fuel. And the one leading this gang of pirates is none other than Shinobi Shaw, the son of Sebastian Shaw. Now he shows up and he tries to strong-arm him. Tries to say that you can get your fuel, but you're gonna get half the amount at the same price that Mad Anthony was charging you, and then you're gonna leave and never return. But this is when Malay and her team, they all disappear, beat the crap out of all these dudes, all but Shaw and one guy. And all the commotion and all the chaos of the fighting, Liebird got grabbed. And Shaw says that if you want one of your crew back, if you want him back alive, drop your weapons. But this is when Malay says that guy, he's not one of mine. We're gonna finish the refuel and then we're gonna leave. Now, Adrian at this point, he's like, holy crap, what do you mean, Malay, I'm not one of your crew? Recognizing he might be screwed in this situation, we see him set himself on fire. Adrian Starr had a secondary mutation, and with this fiery explosion, it sets him free and allows them to get out of here. So as they quickly refuel, Adrian's like, we need to talk about that. Now, Malay, she's like, we don't need to talk about anything. You disobeyed my orders. You left the ship. You didn't stay below deck. When they get below deck, this is where the real discussion gets underway. In addition to his photographic memory, he has a secondary ability, something he didn't tell them about. Adrian Starr is also coming to speculate that he wasn't rescued out of the kindness of their hearts. But even more than that, with his secondary ability, he could have broke out at any time he wanted. So now they're wondering what is going on here. Is he lying to us? Is he a mole, a spy, a rat? Does he work for the US government? So when things heat up a little bit, that's when Bronze grabs hold of him, telling him that he needs to take a step back. Now, as everybody is sitting here arguing, Malay steps in and says, can we really trust Mystique? They all smell that something is off here, something is wrong. Telling Star, like, if you have anything to tell us, now would be the time. Miss Marvel at this point is saying that every second he remains on this ship, he puts us at risk, with Malay agreeing, saying that we should just leave him here. At the very least, throw him into the water, he can swim back to shore. Rift and Bronze, they stand against this, that the Syndicate could kill him, he could die, so on and so forth. So they're arguing right now on really what to do with him. While the 5 of them argue over all of this, this is where we have the arrival of Colossus. Now he shows up and he asks, do I get a vote in this? Because if the beast that was once my sister wants him, and you gave your word, then we bring him to Darkchild. And we do so under my protection. With Colossus's arrival, we have Malay that is talking to Liebird on the low, apologizing for earlier, but Malay saying that as long as you promise to never come back, I got you. With Colossus arriving, it does break the tie, and it allows them to be able to keep him on board. But nonetheless, Malay uses her powers, and we see him phase through the floor. He is phased right through the ship. But then Miss Marvel, she's like, I gotta go save him. Malay confused, like, you wanted him out of here just as much as I did. But Miss Marvel saying that the team voted, and I'm going to support whatever the team votes for. Malay tries to stop her, but Miss Marvel's able to get in the water. She gets her hand in there. She searches around and she finds him. But there's something else. There's something else underneath the ship. When they get back on board, she looks at Malay and she says, why didn't you want me to go in the water? Malay tells Rift, get us out of here. Do the last jump. Malay pushing and Miss Marvel even pushing more to get answers, saying that she's been lying to us, that she's distracting us. But still, Rift was already in the process of jumping them, getting them to where they need to go. But this is when Miss Marvel says that this was all 3K tech. 3K tech is powering the ship. All of it, the whole thing. While Malay says that she can go on to explain, it's already too late for that. Because right now, they're in the waters of the Limbo lands. They've made it to Darkchild's realm. And in these waters, they find themselves gravely under attack. And that will be the end of this issue. So let me know what you guys think down in the comments. That's not a bad little twist there. We haven't really seen 3K in any kind of capacity ever since all of this took off. Revelation blamed 3K for everything that's happened. For the X virus at least, saying 3K created the bomb, they released the bomb, and then 3K disappeared. Now we all know Revelation's the one that caused all of this, but what we don't know is what happened to the organization that is 3K. It seems that they're still operating. They're still doing things out here. To what extent, on whose side, we don't really know. But Cassandra Nova possibly still at the helm, we gotta assume that it would be in their own interest. So what interest would they have in keeping Liebird, Adrian Starr, from getting to Darkchild? It's feeling very Game of Thrones. You have the Revelation territories, you got the US government, you got the Limbo lands, and then you got 3K hiding in the shadows. But let me know what you guys think. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know your theories. If you want to get caught up on everything that has been going on with the Age of Revelation, check out the link in my description as well as the top of this video. That's going to get you completely caught up on everything that is going on with the series so far. If you would like to support the channel, you can always do so by joining the channel membership. This is a lot like Patreon, having a bunch of different tiers. From $1 to $50, this is a lot like Patreon, having a bunch of different tiers that really does help out the channel tremendously. But if you're not able to do that, please do me the favor of subscribing to the channel, liking this video, hitting that notification bell, and with that being said, until the next breakdown.